Johann Strauss was a very famous composer from Austria. He wrote music that made people want to get up and dance. His tunes were so popular that he became known all around the world as the Waltz King. A waltz is a type of dance music that spins and twirls, and Johann was the best at writing it. Even today, when people hear his music, they feel happy and full of energy. His melodies are like a big, cheerful celebration, and they have been loved for a very long time. His story is about a boy who followed his dream even when it was a little bit tricky to do so. Johann Strauss II was born in a very musical city called Vienna, Austria. The date was 25 October 1825. His father was also named Johann Strauss, and he was a famous musician too. Johann Strauss the Elder was a well-known composer and conductor who had his own orchestra. He was already a star in Vienna, and people loved his music. Because his father was so famous, it was a bit confusing having two Johann Strausses. That's why people often call the son Johann Strauss II or Johann Strauss the Younger, just to keep things clear and not mix them up. Johann's family was full of music. Besides his famous father, he had two younger brothers, Joseph and Edward, who also became composers. It seemed that music was in their blood. However, Johann's father did not want his sons to be musicians. He knew that being a musician could be a very difficult life, with lots of travel and hard work. He wanted his son Johann to have a steady job and be a banker instead. A banker's life seemed much safer and more predictable than the uncertain world of composing and performing music for a living. But young Johann had other ideas. He did not dream of counting money. He dreamed of writing music. Secretly, he started taking violin lessons from a musician in his father's orchestra. He had to be very quiet about it, so his father would not find out. His mother, Anna, knew about his secret passion for music, and she supported him. She understood that her son had a special gift for composing beautiful melodies. She helped him practice in secret, encouraging him to follow the musical path that he felt so strongly was meant for him, even if his father disagreed. Johann's secret musical studies could not stay hidden forever. He was a natural talent, and his love for creating melodies was too strong to ignore. When he was just 19 years old, he decided it was time to step out of his father's shadow. He put together his very own orchestra, just like his dad had. This was a very brave thing to do because he was now in direct competition with his famous father. Many people in Vienna were curious to see what the son of the great Johann Strauss could do. They wondered if he would be as good as his father, or perhaps even better. His first performance with his orchestra was a huge success. It took place at a popular restaurant in Vienna called Dommeyer's Casino. The crowd loved his energetic and fresh style of music. He played his own waltzes, and the audience went wild with excitement. The newspapers wrote glowing reviews about the new young Strauss. They said a new star had been born in the world of Viennese music. Johann had proven that he had his own unique talent, and he was not just copying his father. He was ready to make his own mark on the world with his delightful tunes. Johann's music was different from his father's. While his father's waltzes were wonderful, Johann's were filled with a special kind of joy and liveliness. He wrote melodies that were easy to remember and made you feel like you were floating on air. He composed many famous pieces, but one stands out above all the others. It is a waltz called An der schönen blauen Donau, which in English means On the Beautiful Blue Danube. This piece of music is one of the most famous melodies ever written. It perfectly captures the elegant and happy spirit of Vienna in the 19th century. The Blue Danube was not an instant hit when it was first performed. It was originally written with words for a choir to sing, and people were not sure what to make of it at first, but when Johann later performed it as just an orchestral piece, it became a massive sensation. The beautiful flowing melody seemed to describe the famous Danube River perfectly. It became an unofficial anthem for Vienna. People all over the world fell in love with its charm and grace. This single piece of music helped to secure his place as a master composer of the highest order. Johann Strauss II soon became more famous than his father ever was. His concerts were always sold out, and people would clamor to hear his latest compositions. The dance halls of Vienna were filled with couples spinning and twirling to his waltzes, polkas and marches. His music was the soundtrack to the city's glamorous balls and parties. Because his waltzes were so incredibly popular and he wrote so many of them, people started calling him the Waltz King. It was the perfect title for a composer who had made the waltz the most popular dance in all of Europe. His fame was not just limited to his hometown of Vienna. Johann and his orchestra toured all over Europe, bringing his joyful music to new audiences. He even traveled as far as America, where he was greeted like a superstar. In Boston, he conducted a massive concert with over 1,000 musicians playing for a huge crowd. Imagine trying to lead that many people all at once. He was a brilliant showman as well as a composer, and he knew how to entertain an audience. His concerts were exciting events that people talked about for weeks afterwards. Johann wrote an incredible amount of music during his career. He composed over 500 pieces, including more than 150 waltzes. But he did not just write waltzes, he also wrote many operettas, which are like short, funny operas with lots of catchy songs and dancing. His most famous operetta is called Die Fledermaus, which means the bat. It is a comedy filled with mistaken identities, funny situations, and, of course, wonderful waltzes. Die Fledermaus is still performed in opera houses all over the world, especially around New Year's Eve, because it is so festive and fun. One interesting fact about Johann is that he was terrified of his wife, not because she was mean, but because he valued her opinion so much. His wife, Jetty, was his biggest critic and also his biggest supporter. He would often play his new compositions for her first, and he would be very nervous to hear what she thought. If Jetty did not like a melody, Johann would often throw it away and start over. He trusted her taste in music completely. This shows that even the great Waltz King needed a little bit of help and encouragement from the people he loved to create his masterpieces. So why is the music of Johann Strauss still so beloved today, so many years after he wrote it? The main reason is that his music is filled with pure, uncomplicated joy. When you listen to a Strauss waltz, it is hard not to feel a little bit happier. The melodies are bright, the rhythms are lively, and the overall feeling is one of celebration and elegance. His music does not try to be overly serious or complicated. It simply wants to make you smile and tap your feet. It is the kind of music that can lift your spirits on a gloomy day. His waltzes have become a tradition, especially for New Year's celebrations. Every year on New Year's Day, the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra performs a famous concert that is broadcast to millions of people all over the world. The concert is filled with the music of Johann Strauss and his family. The grand finale is always the Blue Danube, followed by the energetic Radetzky March. This tradition connects us back to the golden age of Vienna and reminds us of the timeless beauty of his compositions. It has become a symbol of hope and happiness for the year ahead. Johann Strauss's music is also incredibly well crafted. While it sounds simple and fun, it is actually very cleverly written. He was a master of melody and orchestration, which means he knew exactly how to use the different instruments in the orchestra to create beautiful sounds. Conductors and musicians love playing his music because it is so rewarding and brilliantly put together. Listeners, even if they do not know anything about music theory, can feel the quality and care that went into every single note he wrote. This expert craftsmanship is a key part of its lasting appeal. In the end, Johann Strauss II, the Waltz King, gave the world a gift of happiness. He took a simple dance form, the waltz, and turned it into high art. His music transports us to a time of grand ballrooms and elegant parties. But its appeal is universal. It speaks a language of joy that everyone can understand, no matter where they are from or when they are listening. That is why, on this day, August 11th, 2025, we can still put on a Strauss waltz and feel the urge to spin around the room, just as people did in Vienna more than a century ago.